This is Kamera again. We're on day number 190. Psalms chapter 120 through 132. Yep, 13 chapters. They're not long. Trust me, they're not long. We have one that's like 3 verses. One chapter's like there's only one that's long. That's 18 verses, and that's like the last. That's the last chapter. There's a lot of 4 verses, 5 verses, a couple 8 verses, but they're not long, guys. Remember, we just left one that was like 88 verses in one day. So this is not long. As you read them, just enjoy them, and yeah, you'll like them. Trust me. This first one, Psalms chapter 120. I took my troubles to the Lord. He answered. And it talks about, how God had helped, what pained him, and how God had rescued him. The next one, Psalms 121. I look up to the mountain. My help comes from the Lord. And it talks about how God helps him, how God keeps him from stumbling, from all harm. It also talks about how God is beside us and watches over us. So you really don't want to miss that one. Make sure you read it. Psalms 122, I was glad when they said, let us go to the house of the Lord. That mainly talks about Jerusalem and how people all over come there to give thanks to God. So yeah, may the Lord may there be peace on the walls of Jerusalem. Psalms chapter 123. I lift my eyes to you, O God, enthroned in heaven. And he's basically asking God for mercy because he's tired of the proud bothering him and the arrogant. Psalms 124. What if the Lord had not been on our side? And it talks about what happens if God would not be on our side. If God's on our side, what would have happened? So that's what that's talking about. Psalms 125. Those who trust in the Lord are secure. They will not be defeated, but they will endure. The Lord surrounds his people now and forever. So you want to read that one, guys. Remember, I'm not reading all of these verses in these chapters, so take the time to read them. This next one, Psalms 126. It talks about how the exiles felt when God brought them back to Jerusalem. And, just talk about the joy they feel. And at some point, they do ask God to make them prosperous again. But yeah, that's 126. Psalms chapter 127. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. That's the point. Except the Lord keep watch over the city. Except the Lord protect the city. The watchmen, they guard in vain. And that's the truth, guys. I don't care how much security you have. If God is not protecting you, you're being protected in vain. Whatever you're paying for, what have you. And if he's not building the city, you're building in vain. So it's good to commit whatever it is to God because you know he's in that thing. I'm just saying. God is my protector, and I thank him for protecting me and keeping me and my family. Psalms chapter 128. How joyful are those who fear the Lord, all who follow his ways. And it talks about how blessed the faithful are and how they, even more, how blessed they will be. Psalms 129. From my earliest youth, my enemies have persecuted me, but they have never defeated me. The Lord is good. What about those haters, y'all? They might persecute you, but then you'll never be defeated. Been there. Yeah, but I don't this is the thing though, if someone have a problem with me, I don't let it bother me. I just show them love still and let God deal with them. I don't have attitude with them or anything. I just show them love. They might probably get more attention and love from me. Just let them know we're good. And yeah, let God deal with them because it's clearly it's something they have with them. What can you do, right? Psalms 130. Lord, if you kept record, this is a good one. Lord, if you kept record of our sins, who, oh Lord, could ever survive? That's so true. And it talks about hope in the Lord. Thank God he don't keep record of our sin. Isn't that something? Psalms 131 just tells you to put your hope in God. In Psalms 132, it talks about the vow that David made to God and the vow that God made to David. And that's it, guys. We just covered 13, not all of the verses in the chapter, but 13 chapters. And it's just that simple. I'm telling you, once you read it, you won't even feel the 13 chapters. And there's some good stuff in there. If you don't read them, you're missing out. So take the time, okay? And yeah, that's it, guys. Day number 190, Psalms chapter 120 through 132. You have a God-filled blessed day.